Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much for taking time to do this interview.
Josh? Is your name Josh?
Yes.
Okay, got it right. Making sure. So what's going on?
Uh, Nothing too much. I've just been prepping all day, being able to talk to you here. Had the gracious opportunity to be able to talk last year for the album, and now being able to talk to you now for the remix of the album, which is so cool to see. This is it come out now yesterday.
Yes, I'm very happy that we got it put together, and we were able to collaborate with a few different DJs to make it happen. And I'm very happy that so far the response has been very positive. Actually, I'm actually been having. It's kind of weird. I've been actually having more positive response on the remixes than I did on Aggression Continuum when when the first single came out, when Disruptor came out. When Disruptor first came out, everybody for some reason thought it was the new singer. So a lot of people were kind of, talking crap about it online because they thought it wasn't Bert, right? And then, they were actually, very well mistaken and they realized that. And so, but yeah, the positive response that we got in these remixes was actually very surprising so far.
I'm glad to see it too, and I very much enjoy it. It feels like a great counterpart to the album, the original album, and just hearing the diversity as well too. I mean, some of it is just really super heavy. Some of it feels like pop songs. Some of it feels like great throwback dance music. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything for everybody, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, the last time that we did a record like this was 25 years ago with Remanufacture, and a guy named Rob G. He's a writer, he's a DJ, he's all the above, and he's got like that Dutch GABA hardcore sound, and he did the song "Manufactured Hope," um, and we that was probably the closest thing that we have to that style from Remanufacture. um Also Zardonic also did a song called Worthless, and that was kind of a throwback to synthwave. It's kind of like been really popular these last few years, synthwave. And he, when we worked on that track, we wanted to remove all the guitars and make it just all, keyboards and stuff. And so, and not as much vocals either. So the music on that track is just, it's amazing. And basically the keyboards are for the main theme of the song. The keyboards are playing the chorus melody. So it's killer.
Oh, it really is. So, thinking about all of that as well too. I mean, obviously, like you said, like Remanufacture was the last time being able to do like a full-on remix album. What was it like to decide to do that again now?
Well, we had some. Well, first of all, Aggression Continuum was such a great record, and I believe that, it would be perfect to remix that album. And so we had downtime because of COVID and because, there wasn't a lot of bands being able to tour yet. And so I thought, why don't we just do a handful of remixes? Let's do like 3 or 4 songs and see how it goes. Reese Fulber, who's been a part of the band, the fifth Beatle. You know what I mean? He's been that fifth member of the band. He's been working with us for a long time, whether it's producing or doing keyboards or remixes. He was the first one I approached. I said, "Hey, we need to do some of these remix some of these songs." And so it started off as like doing 3 or 4 songs, and then I started to see how well it started to come out, that I was like, okay, I need to reach out to some other DJs and have them work on some of these other tracks. And that's kind of like how it all started.
Oh, that is so cool. I'm glad it could start from that, and then it was able to expand into what it is now. Because I mean, it would have been cool to have like a couple songs off of it remix, but I love the fact that everything off the previous album is remixed, and just being able to show all these personalities and different sides, and just show that good music can be played whether it's full Fear Factory style or it's incorporated into different genres.
Yeah, definitely different genres, because I was really into all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, a guy like Blush Response is like really hard, dark. industrial German type techno, European techno, I guess you would call it. Um, and then you got Reese Fulber, who did kind of multiple styles on this record as well. The opening track, which is the Monolith remix, "Hatred Will Prevail." That's a straight up with heavy guitars and vocals, and so it came out great. But then you jump over to a track that he did called "Path to Salvation," which is the Purity remix, and he did it kind of more of like the cyberpunk kind of industrial gothy dance stuff that you would hear in those type of clubs, and that was the vibe he was going for there. So there's two very distinctive styles there, and then some of the other songs that he did were along the lines of more industrial stuff. We had this other guy as well, Tyrant of Death, a guy based out of Canada. If you follow him, he's done a lot of great stuff over the years, and I've been a fan of his for a while now. And he took Collapse, it's Empire's Fall. He took that song and made it heavier. He dropped my F sharp tuning 8 string and dropped it down to a low fucking E, and made that track just even more heavier and more industrial sounding. And that track is like crushing, right? And then Zardonic, who's more known for his drum and bass, he collaborated with a guy named Dualized, a guy named Giuseppe Bassi, based out of Italy, and he collaborated with a song called "Fuel Injected Suicide Machine," um, which is called "I Am the Night Rider," which is an ode to the guy who passed away in the movie Mad Max. And so it was that track is probably like one of the best tracks on the record as well.
I totally agree with that sentiment as well too. I love the fact that it still has like that great crushing feel behind it, but the chorus just like it feels so uplifting and poppy at the same time. It's got that great mix behind it.
Yeah, well, that's what Fear Factor is known for, and if anybody knows Fear Factor and has been following us through the years, they know that we're no, this is not anything new for us as far as combining these different styles, electronic, industrial, goth elements into our Fear Factor. So they know you know we've done this in the past. Going all the way back to Fear is the Mind Killer in 1993 to Remanufacture in 1997. So with that being said, I was just able that I had the time to actually collaborate with these different artists because you know in the midst of all this, I was actually looking for a singer as well. You know what I mean? It took me a year to find the right guy, and then having to work with him and make sure I gel with him and just make sure you found the right guy to fill in the position. So a lot of that takes time. It didn't happen overnight, and I'm just really glad that I had the time for all that.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially when your headspace is in so many different directions that's been going on lately. I still love the fact that you're able to collaborate with all of these different artists and being able to show that appreciation for what happened with the previous album, and still looking forward to the future as well too. Like once everything gets announced and all of that stuff that starts happening with the next chapter of Fear Factory, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, I've already started writing for the next Fear Factory record, so
Oh,
we're actually in
nice.
pre-production for a few songs already. Um, so I can't wait to start actually officially recording it. Probably won't happen till early next year. We also got that tour with Static X coming up late February, and then we're also going to be doing another South American tour right after that. So we probably won't be able to actually get into the production of the record till probably June to go in and actually record the record.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And, I do love the fact that even in the pre-production stage, even before the full-on production, that you guys are going on such a great tour like that and being able to hit so many dates, being able to show off what Fear Factory is going to be.
Yeah, well, we got to go out there and support the last record, Aggression Young, because we haven't been able to tour on that record yet. So this next tour will be based off that record, in support of that record. So I can't wait to go out there and play some of these songs live, because been sitting, not me personally, but just, Fear Factory hasn't been out there for the last about 5 6 years, and just being able to go out there and actually find a tour and play new songs, it's gonna be killer.
Oh, for sure. And there's so many songs off the album that deserve that live treatment as well, too. I mean, as great as they sound on the original recording and remix, I mean, you still want to be able to hear the live versions of it as well, too, and being able to switch up the set list.
Yeah, I can't wait. We're supporting Static X, so we only get 50 minutes. So we're going to try to squeeze as many songs from our catalog, in that time slot.
Oh, for sure. So, thinking about that, I mean, obviously, with being able to find the right new voice and everything like that, has that made you change about like what you want to incorporate in the set list, or is it going to be what we're accustomed to? Have you thought about that yet so far?
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, we're definitely going to be throwing in our biggest, most streamed song, which is Linchpin. We're going to be able to finally put that in the set list, um, and we're going to be able to do a lot of songs like that that are that stuff that we haven't been able to do in a while. So that definitely, he's got an amazing voice, so it definitely opens doors for us to be able to go and pick and choose any song that we want, add it to the set list.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. I mean, when I get to go see you guys again and knowing that it could be off any album, it could be any song. I mean, obviously being able to hit the songs that make the most sense for the set list. But if you're playing something that hasn't been played in a long time, or maybe it's a B side or something like that, that's got me very excited, and it has me excited to be able to keep seeing the band in the future because I know the set list will be changing out.
Yeah, we're going to be like, as far as like when we're doing this tour, Static X, like I said, we only got 50 minutes, so we're going to be trying to squeeze in as much from our catalog as possible. At least doing two songs or one main song from each record. Of course, you can't do Shock without Edge Crusher. You can't do Demanufacture without Replica. You know what I mean? You can't, What Will Become and Linchpin, from DG Mortal era. So there's a lot of songs for us to choose from. Power Shifter, Dielectric. Um, there's a lot of songs. So we're going to try to squeeze them all in there and try to not talk as much, just so we can get another song in there.
Mm. Oh yeah, you definitely got to make up for lost time. I mean, the fact that time did get away from us for a bit, over the last couple years, and not being able to play shows and touring, still even now, it's just like it's hard to be able to set up everything that you want to. So, when an opportunity comes out like this, you want to be able to play as much as you possibly can and make that 50-minute set count.
Exactly. So I was doing Soulfly tours and Cavalera tours as well, just until Fear Factory was ready. You know what I mean? And we're ready to go. We're actually in the process also of looking at these different contracts that we got offered, because Nuclear Blast, our contract ran out with Nuclear Blast. It expired. So we've been talking to a few other labels, and we're just trying to get that sorted out as well. So that we can get some label support behind us.
Oh, for sure. And you want to do everything right too. I mean, especially with everything that'll be coming up with this tour and the next album when, everything comes with that next year, possibly into 2024. There's so many things that could happen. You want to make sure that everything
Totally.
is going to go in the right direction.
Totally. And I don't necessarily know if, we're going to be doing another remix album at all, but I definitely wanted to do it for this record. This record also got instrumentals. We released Aggression Continuum instrumentals as well. And a lot of people really love that as well, because a lot of vocalists were able to, sing over the tracks. And a lot of musicians were able to play on top of the tracks as well. So that was really cool. And plus, sometimes, when you have guitar and vocals, going at the same time, sometimes the vocals will overpower some of the little idiosyncrasies on the guitar. But when you remove the vocals, you can actually hear some of those little elements that are missing that you don't normally hear, um, or you don't really pay attention to. You know what I mean? But when you remove the vocals, it's great. And not that it's always great. I'm just saying it's great that you
Oh,
get to listen
yeah.
to it. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Without the vocals, and hear like more of what the guitar is doing and what the drummer is doing.
Oh, for sure. And I noticed that as well with this remix album as well too. I mean, just like a little interludes or little things that either has been added to it or moments from the original album that get to shine a little bit more in the remix. I mean, it's got that replay value and you're able to appreciate it in different ways.
Yeah, the remix is it's it's so many. There's a few different styles on there. You know what I mean? And it's really cool because people are already picking out their favorite tracks.
Oh, for sure. And I did want to touch on this since you did bring it up a little bit ago. The fact that you were able to go and learn and play some live shows with Soulfly. Like, how was that for you to be able to do something different that wasn't your original band, to be able to go out and play some different material?
It was great. You know what I mean? There was one time where they had asked me a few years ago to actually join them to a Cavalera tour, but I actually broke my leg, and so I wasn't able to go on the tour. But fast forward to 2021, and I was able to, hit the road. Anytime Max calls me for anything, I'm there. You know what I mean? Anytime the brothers call me, whether it's Igor or Max, I'm there. So
Yeah, that unfortunately I didn't get to see that, but I love the fact that you joined them because it feels like a natural choice. I mean, I know obviously with the history that you have with them, and it's just like it. I imagine it just had to be so cool to be able to like go and learn some great songs from the Soulfly catalog.
yeah, well, the Soulfly catalog and even the Sepultura
And
catalog,
oh, yeah, and
of course,
Sepultura, yes.
I've been listening to
Yeah.
that music for years and years, so it
Mm.
was pretty easy for me to get to, because those songs are embedded in your head, especially like Roots and
Oh, yes.
all the early Sepultura. I'm sorry, all the early Soulfly records. The songs in your head. I just never sat there and learned them, and it just came very naturally for me to get them down, perfect. And going out there, with Max and touring, has been killer. I got about 5 or 6 more shows left with them in Australia, and then that's it. And then it's all 100% Fear Factory.
Oh, that's so cool. And again, just like with touring and live shows being taken away from us, the fact that you are able to play in the States and you're able to play in Australia and being able to play with your friends and then being able to focus 100% again on Fear Factory coming up after that. I'm so excited to see what's going to be coming of all of this.
Yeah, well, I really can't wait to get out there with, with my own band, Fear
Mhm.
Factory, and play amongst all those fans that haven't seen us in a while. You know what I mean? And it's going to be great. It's going to be killer. That Static X tour. So if anybody's out there, still wants to get tickets, there are still some tickets available. So anybody out there wants to check it out, just come on out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it sounds like a great bill from start to finish, and the fact that you're direct support for Static X. I mean, it's like obviously they're paying such great homage to the past as well, being able to appreciate what Static X has done in the past. But it's like you're gonna be bringing up some competition. I mean, they're gonna really have to be on their A game, be after following you guys.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily looking at it as competition. I'm just out there, trying to have a good time. Our bass player Tony Campos is also he is Static X pretty
Yeah.
much, and he is going to be doing double duty on that tour. So that's going to be great.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. And yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. The fact that
I
he
might
is
have to
doing.
bring a backup bass player in case he gets tired.
Yeah, yeah, almost stole the words I was gonna say. It's like I gotta imagine like I can imagine like halfway through the tour, it's like it might start to hit him, but it's also got to be a rewarding feeling for him too, being able to show off two different sides of his personality each night.
Yeah, well, he's that kind of bass player. That guy's been playing. He's played in so many different bands. You know what I mean? He's a 100 true professional, and a great friend of mine for many years. And it's he's one of the guys that I always call for things that I need. You know what I mean? And vice versa. We have a band together. It's called Assassino. We've
Oh
had
yes.
that band since 2002. It's been going on for a while. So, but it is a project band, and we only get to do it when we get time to do it. Um, we haven't put a record out in quite some time, but we need to put one out.
I would love that. I mean, obviously, all the stars got to align for that, and everyone's got to make time to be able to make that happen. But if I would love a new album, I've been waiting for a new album, and if that could ever happen, that would be so cool.
It's gonna happen. I mean, I do have stuff written for it, tracked and recorded. It's just finding the time to fully complete it. That's the thing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially with the lineup that you got and everyone being so busy with that, I can imagine.
Yeah, our drummer Emilio Marquez is in a band called Possessed, and they do shows here and there and stuff like that. So he's
Mhm.
pretty busy as well.
Yeah, and it's so great to see Possessed out there with like a new album being able to doing these shows again. You know, it's after so long of not having them, it's great to see them back again as well.
Yeah, I'm very happy because they were one of my back in what 84, 85 when their first record came out, Seven Churches. I was a huge fan, and that was actually there was a while there that was one of my favorite bands. You know what I mean? And then when you're young like that, 18 years old and 19 years old, and you go through like, oh, this is my favorite band, or when Exodus Bond by Blood came out, that was my favorite band, and then when Slayer Rain and Blood came out, that's my favorite band. You know what I mean? Then Metallica Master of Puppets comes out, that's my favorite band. So it kind of like then they all just became my favorite bands.
And it really shows in the influences too. I mean, obviously being able to create your own signature sound, but it's just like that's gonna wear on you in some way, shape, or form, being able to show off like the death metal side, the thrash metal side, and the fact that you have like so many different projects and bands that you've been a part of in some way.
Yeah,
It's just great to be able to show that.
I have 21 albums that I put out. 21 albums. That's a lot of fucking records. A lot of fucking records from Divine Heresy, 2 records, Brujeria, 3 records. Oh, actually, and plus a bunch of other singles and vinyl and 7 inches of different songs. Assassino, 2 records. Fear Factory, 8 record. Well, if you're counting the remix and all that stuff, there's 10 records there of mine that I'm on, and then you know, Di- some other Die Clute was another band that I had. It's just it keeps going on and on. So there's a lot of stuff out there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, obviously, like you mentioned before, like after the Australian tour coming up, 100% focus will be on Fear Factory. But is there anything else that's in the back burner that might come up in the future as well, or is it too early to tell?
Well, there's a bunch of other stuff I want to work on, but I think Fear Factory is going to be taking priority. That's the one where people are really pushing me. The fans are really pushing me, saying, "Hurry up, put something out. We want to know who the singer is." Blah blah blah. So I got to really work on that and get that out there because I've been making promises and I got to keep those promises.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Of course, obviously, you want to make the fans happy. You want to be able to make sure that all the ducks are in a row for everything in the future with the label and upcoming touring, and of course, the new album as well too. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, just so you know, I have over 200 songs. It's a
Uh,
lot of my catalog. It's a lot.
yes, it is,
Yeah,
and and
just
in such a
just
great
with
variety as well.
yeah, just from various other projects or guest appearances. Everything from Cypress Hill to Junkie XL to Atari Teenage Riot, and the list goes on. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Oh, for sure. So thinking about that as well too. I mean, of course, how you mentioned it before, like things are in the pre-production stage right now. Is it too early to tell, like, kind of describe what like some of the riffs or songs are sounding like so far, or is that too early to talk about?
Well, so far right now, I got a couple 8 string songs that are in the vein of like Mechanize. Um, I got 3 other songs that are probably more in the vein of Aggression Continuum meets Genexus. So, but I don't know. It could be. Who knows how it's gonna all turn out in the end.
Oh, for sure. And just like even just knowing that the ideas are starting to flow, and then eventually what will happen with the final product, whenever that may be. It's just like, as a longtime fan, I'm just excited to see what's going on. I'm excited to hear everything that's going on with you, whether it's in Fear Factor or being able to tour with Frenzy viewers, or anything else that could happen. And of course, the brand new remix album, which came out yesterday, and like finalizing everything with Nuclear Blast. I mean, it's a really nice send off for that era of the band. And now with everything going on, you get to focus on the next chapter. And me and so many people are so excited to see what happens next.
Exactly. And I definitely do have a lot of challenges and hurdles that I got to jump, but that's exactly what I live for. It's exactly, sometimes being an artist, those are the things you got to do. Those challenges, is exactly what challenges me to and pushes me to strive for the best it could be.
Exactly. And especially when you're dealing with things that you've never had to deal with before. I mean, obviously it's new struggles you got to deal with, but they can be very rewarding once you clear those hurdles and you're able to go through on the other side.
It's nowhere that I haven't been before. I've done Divine Heresy where I've been through a couple of singers. You know what I mean? So I've gone through stuff like that before. Vocalists change, members change. I've done that, and for various reasons, people leave, people come and go, and that's just how it is. People's lives change. People got a different path they want to go, and that's all fine with me. I'm still here. I am. My passion is here. My passion is with metal, industrial, and all the other elements that come along with it. My passion is still there to write these heavy riffs, make these killer melodic choruses, um, sick double bass, syncopated guitars and drums. My passion is still there for all that, and I'm excited to actually do a new Fear Factory record and fucking complete it with a new singer. So I can't wait.
Oh, absolutely. And obviously, with not giving anything away or anything like that, I mean, the way you've been describing it and being able to work with him and, lining everything up, I mean, you sound excited for the future, which again makes me excited about what's going to be happening with all of that. And of course, once everything gets announced and everything comes like that, I can't wait to be able to check everything out. But until then, I got Recoded to be able to get me through until the touring coming up in February, and the announcements I'm sure will follow.
Yes, I'm very excited. The singer that we have now, he's a multi what's the word? He's a multi instrumentalist. Like he can play more than one instrument: guitars, bass, drums, keyboards, and he sings. So yeah, he's a multi talented guy, and I can't wait to introduce him to the world. Um, and it's going to be killer. It's going
Oh,
to be great.
fantastic. Well, I think with
He's
that, I
much
think
more of he's much more of a musician than I am.
well, don't cut yourself too short. I mean, I remember during our last talk, like, I had a great time being able to talk to you about like the ideas for drums that you're able to throw onto the computer and get some ideas thrown in there as well. So, it's like obviously you got a lot of talents with what you can do, and the fact that you can work with other musicians that can handle other instruments like that, even if they don't play them with what you're working with, it
Yeah.
can always bounce new ideas. That's always a cool
Yeah,
thing.
everything that I'm recording with right now with the pre-production is Damien Reynaud. He's produced the last Fear Factory record with me. He's been working with the band since The Industrialist, um, and he also co-produced the um, Genexus album as well. So he's actually handling the production duties right now with me, and we're like I said, we're in the pre-production stages. So check out Damien right now. He's done a lot of cool records. So check him out.
Oh, oh, definitely. And I think with that, I think that's a great note to end on. I think we covered a lot of great ground here, and it's got me excited for obviously, again, like learning a little bit more about Recoded, again, available now as of yesterday. And of course, being able to look forward to the future, whether you're working with the Cavallera Brothers, whether you're working at Soulfly, whether it's the new era of Fear Factory that'll be coming up in February, being able
Yes,
to open for Static X, and then the future, which I can't wait for you to be able to describe in detail when the time comes.
exactly. I mean, I want to say thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you to all the fans out there who've been supporting Fear Factory all these years, and being sick fans that are way into the music, the lyrics, the concept, the riffs, all the above, and just Thank you very much, and I'm not gonna let you down. My heart is 100% into this, and I'm gonna fucking kill it.
Oh, I love hearing that. And again, I thank you very much for taking the time and being so excited to be able to talk about everything. It's got me excited. I can't wait to show off this interview. And obviously, I know it's a busy press time, so I'll let you go. But again, I just want to thank you again for taking the time to be able to talk to me. It was great to be able to talk to you again. I hope we can do it again once the new Fear Factory comes along, whenever that may be.
Man, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem. You have a great rest of the day.
You too, bro. Talk to you later.
Sounds good. Bye bye.